Hi there and welcome to day 28 of the 6-week challenge. So it is actually 4 weeks today. So after today we have done 4 weeks of the challenge and training. So the challenge has been all about talking about obviously weight loss, number one, because that's why most people do something like this, because they want to lose the weight. But it's also been showing you real life as well, obviously during this process. If you look at a standard diet or a standard way of eating or program, you stick to a thing prescribed hard and fast for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, or for however long it might be for life, as a lot of them would want you to do. And that's that. But actually, as we all know, real life gets in the way. So throughout this program so far, we've had me going out with a date night, me seeing clients, and then Father's Day kicking in. Then actually there was some stuff this weekend that came out of nowhere, so I ended up having wine and cheese and biscuits again. So things you wouldn't ordinarily expect to see when you are trying to lose weight and then maintain that weight loss. And in those scenarios you'd expect to see me ballooning and putting the weight back on, but actually that's not the case. And when we have weigh-in tomorrow, you'll actually see that today it'll be something along the region of 21 pounds, so just over 5 pounds a week lost. Admittedly, there was a lot at the first couple of weeks, because I was able to maintain, just be really focused for those couple of weeks. And if you didn't fall off the wagon at all, didn't actually have real life come in biting you on the backside during the first 4 weeks, then you inevitably lose more than you would say you were eating. That's having the odd night off, because that's maths. The maths of it is that it's calories in versus calories out. When it comes down to, yes, the hormones will affect how you feel about that eating. You might be genetically predisposed, whatever the right word, predisposed to not burning as many calories as your counterpoint from your basal metabolic rate, so how many calories you actually burn at rest. But that's really what it comes down to. So based on that, I've made a pretty big decision, which I'm going to talk to you about tomorrow. But it's going to show you something which I think you're going to be very excited about, and actually will be excited for something that you can do for the rest of your life. So say you decide to follow my program, do the short, sharp, let's get some instant results until you are relatively happy with where you are, or happy as the case may be, and then what you can do next. So that's what we're going to be focusing on tomorrow, and then for the next couple of weeks. But I'll talk to you more about that tomorrow and explain everything that's going on, and also show you the weigh-in as usual, and then we'll start mixing and shaking things up a little bit. So today I want to follow on a little bit from what I talked about yesterday, and it's just something I kind of mentioned when I was talking about the intermittent fasting and time restricted eating, and that is substitutes. Now, we talked about meal replacement shakes, but I also want to talk about other substitutes. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I love rice, I love bread, I love carby type things, and I was brought up on a lot of curries. My dad's actually Scottish, Burmese, Portuguese, English mix, so quite a mixed race person, and my mum as well, she's quite mixed as well, Irish, English, a bit of Indian in there as well, from a long way back actually. But I was brought up, because my dad was born and brought up in India, so he'd always enjoyed eating curries, and my grandma being from Burma, then there was lots of curries and Burmese style food. If you haven't had Burmese food, by the way, recommend it. It's amazing. In fact, I've got a recipe for a Burmese curry which I will be posting, which is amazing and comes in at about 250 calories as well, not including the rice. So anyway, I love curry. I live on curries and various stews, chilies, things like that. Absolutely love them. But I love rice, and rice goes naturally very well with them. However, rice packs a big punch calorie wise. If you've got a nice big bowl of rice, that's between 200 and 300 calories when you've cooked it up. If I am having rice, I always go for whole grain basmati or brown basmati, so I'm getting at least getting some extra fibre with it, rather than going for the white. But the calories are about the same either way. Now, if you're following a plan where you are trying to restrict your calories to get into that calorie deficit and to hit quite a high calorie deficit, as I've been describing, you need something instead of rice, and that's why I love konjac rice. Now, konjac rice you can get in the UK and Sainsbury's. There's a few places in America and Australia as well. I think you can buy it online. I can't remember the name of the place actually. I'll have to have a think about that, but it is fantastic stuff. Now, it doesn't taste like rice. It doesn't really taste so much. It's got a kind of an interesting texture to it, but what it does do is it gives you something else in your mouth that makes you feel like you're eating something rice-like. However, preparing it, really important. When you get it, rinse it, because when you open it up, it will smell kind of fishy. It's not seaweed based, it's some root, but it does have a funky little smell to it. So what I do is I pour it into a glass bowl, I rinse it, fill it with water, then I pour it through a colander, then I give it another rinse, and that's me done. That's my konjac rice ready to go. And then I pop it in the microwave for 3 minutes to heat it up, or you can do it on the stove if you want, boil it in water, but I prefer doing the microwave, just nice and easy while I'm preparing up the main course. But what that does is that gives you, my wife and I share a pack of it, and it gives you 15 calories for a bowl of rice, which is just brilliant. Or if you want to be really, well, greedy is not the right word, but if you want a big bowl of rice, so a whole pack, 250 grams worth of the konjac rice, that comes in at 30 calories. So that's virtually nothing. I mean, that's really, really good compared to, say, 300 for the same amount of rice. You're doing really, really well there. So that's just one substitute that I like to use. And it's just one bit of advice for you guys to look, because if there are things you really enjoy, there are lots of cool substitutes out there and things that you can actually take and have instead. So that you don't feel deprived. And feeling deprived is one of the things that can be a killer to any kind of program that you're following. Anyway, so that's me for today. Tomorrow is Weigh Day, and tomorrow we'll have the announcement about how things are going to change, how I'm going to shift things up a little bit and show you some other strategies and other ways of doing things. So I can't wait to speak tomorrow. Have a great Monday, and speak to you then. Bye bye.